Okay, Scorpio. How about a reading from me? You're a metal dog, if you may recall. I've been away. I'm back. Okay. We're going to see what's happening for the new year for us Scorpios. What is going on for Scorpio? I'm going to ask the guardian of the night for some overall energy. I don't know. My sister and I, Scorpios that we are, this is a deck we have in common. And so I think of it as our deck, as our Scorpio deck. Let's see what it thinks is going on with us. I'm going to split the deck here. How you been? How you been? I've been good. Okay. This tells me we've been doing a little self-harm. We have a little doubt in our minds about how we've been living and the consequences about how we've been living. A 5 of Swords. Okay, I can relate to that. Can you? It's all kinds of things we could have going on. And one card on the bottom. I love this. Justice. Balancing on the truth here. This magnificent bat senses direction through radar. See all that power, all that inspiration. This almost makes me think of the Judgment card, like Ascension. I think it makes me think of a card in a different deck. But I love this card. We can see the scales of justice hanging from the truth. Very, very powerful. So it looks like if you've had doubt about yourself, about your behavior with others, whether you're being harmful to others in some way in order to win, that's a 5 of Swords feeling, that we can see you're shifting as you are wont to do as a Scorpio, to transform and to learn from this and to bring justice into the situation. And if you've been harmful of yourself or not balanced in your mind, we can see that you are achieving balance, justice towards yourself as well. So like if you've been up in your head, judging yourself harshly, that's over. That's coming to a close. You're inclined as a Scorpio to shift from, okay, I looked at this, I've critiqued it, and then to transform it, and to rise like this bat from on the truth with a sense of heroic justice. I would say here it's quite magnificent how you can go from this deer kind of eating among the ruins reflecting into this like magical, magnificent, dramatic. It's very dramatic. It's like a real shift, right? Scorpios are good at that. Okay, well, let's see. That sounds good. What's going on? Now we're going to ask, borrowing from Cindy of Awakening to Spirit. Great channel. Check it out. She uses this New Year's reading, a release and an embrace. And then I add a couple of things to it. Here. Okay. Let's start with your release, Scorpio. What shall Scorpio release? Scorpio shall release another 5 of emotions. There's some grief here. It's like kind of a cold place of despair and loss. So we can see how, so this, here she is, she's reaching for this icicle. There's like a gem in there, right? Scorpios tend to see the gem in this, all the sharpness and all the pain. But we can see that it's having like huge impact. A little icicle falls and it's a big splash emotionally to kind of work through and soften the sharpness. It's causing a lot of emotional reaction to your waters, which are very still. It's like this incredible focus on kind of working through the ice to get to that gem, that diamond in there. which is that transformative power, exactly what we talked about with our first cards. So that's over. You were leaving that behind. Whatever you've been doing in that realm, it's time to release that. We will clarify what you shall embrace. Yeah, I saw this already for you. The Muse of Emotions. I had a few false starts, and this came through. This is the King of Swords. This is that you have gone through a swords cycle. You're the King of the Swords. Muse of Voices is the King of Swords. This is your mind. This is your intellect. You have learned how to be the king of this realm, the intellectual. And what has happened is that in this process of suffering, of feeling the connection between the mind and the heart, right? We can actually see in this figure that there's the moon. She's holding the moon it's like her heart, like this. And the moon represents secrets, mysteries, depths. So this seems like subterranean level, like, and the Muse of Voices, or the King of Swords, is wise to how the truth, the mind, and the heart connect, and therefore finds grace. We can see these people dancing on this edge in their pink dresses. Very beautiful, kind, gentling of the truth that happens here, and you can embrace that going forward, Scorpio. We've got a few things in retrograde. Mercury will be going into retrograde, and then that will be in Capricorn. And then we've got Mars retrograding and going direct in Gemini. And I thought of that when I saw this card. We will be revisiting some kind of changing of our mind, some kind of, this is a Six of Voices or Six of Swords, and this is, you've been helped to move across difficult thoughts and ideas and stories about yourself and who you are, and you've been brought to somewhere calmer, more peaceful, and you're kind of reviewing that like a historian would. There's a great deal of wisdom in you, Scorpio, in this reading, and as you go into the new year, there's a sorrow in you. But as Scorpios can do, you can turn this sorrow, these deep feels, this connection between your, again, much like these icicles, right? Like the stalagmites and tights. I don't remember which is up, but we can see the mind, we can see the water. And again, it's that still waters run deep. And here you are, down in your feels. You're good at that. You're good at balancing on the edge between the water, the edge here in your mind. This is a mind and heart reading. There's lots of truth here and wisdom that you are bringing forward like this. You're standing on this edge, and it hasn't been without a cost to you. I think you've been through some pain. Some pain that has come from really working through some thoughts and feels here. And you're kind of looking back on that as you're reflecting back on your year, on your life, where you came, how you changed your mind, how things have changed this year. The tarot wants you to know that's hidden from you is the Lovers. This could be a choice, but it is also perhaps that you are meeting or have met or are with the person, your person. And this is a kind of relationship with your divine counterpart. That is a meeting of minds, of hearts, of souls, of bodies. And it is quite scary. And that's why it also represents a choice, because many people don't choose it. And that's what's on the line here, unbeknownst to you. It suggests to me that your counterpart is in the Lovers, in the decision about this love. And it's a scary love for them. You've kind of managed to weather the edge of what you know to be true. I think your truth, who you are, and your emotions, like your love, your heart, where your heart rules you. But there's also the levers at stake here. So you could be the person in the midst of a decision about some kind of connection. But it's a big decision. If it's not about your love life, it's something big. Like I think about my sister, who's married, and I just did the Leo reading, and she's married to a Leo, and her Leo might possibly be considering a big decision, right? So it could be something like that. So you tell me, Scorpio, what is the levers? It's hidden right now from you, and the tarot wants you to know this is going on, or this is coming up, okay? The future for Scorpio is, boy, we've been seeing this, the Seven of Materials. Just doing your work, planting your seeds, waiting for the pentacles here to grow. It's in the realm of the 3D world, the career, the earth, the planet. So we just see you, it's a very mature energy, Scorpio. Very patient, very methodical, very thoughtful. And then it's funny because then there's this drama queen bat here. That's this dance. It's like a grace. There's a grace here and a quietness. It's a balancing on an edge, on a knife's edge, balancing kindness and love with the truth. And really facing and coming to terms with new truths about perhaps who you are, how you operate. And then we see you in the future, just back to your work, back to like the steady labor of the earth. We will clarify what's going on underneath. This is your card, Muse of Emotions, King of Cups. That's you. You being you, Scorpio. There's your moon work. We've seen this already. Their wisdom is coming from deep inside of you, from your emotional depths, from the depths of your psychology. And don't doubt who you are, Scorpio. You know who you are. You know who you are, and if this other person is deciding about you, you're going to be okay whatever they decide. That's what I see. Okay. Let's clarify. You've been coming from some hard stuff. 5 of Emotions. The huge consequences of chipping away at your grief, the ice of it, going towards that gem. Because beauty and poetry and emotional maturity that we see here in the Muse of Voices and the Muse of Emotions, your mind and your heart are in alignment. That's the gem. But you've been working on that. And you're not doubting yourself because you know how much work you've done. You know how far you've come. And you can just use this grace that you acquire as a result of this process. So let's see, 5 of Emotions. So there's the Knight of Cups. This emotional, true-hearted, classy love offer. You can see the little fish diving with her. She's our Knight of Cups. There's her cup that she offers. So you brought your heart to this little fish. And fortune changed, usually in your favor, the wheel. Little spider spinning her web beneath the stars. So the stars give us that sense of fate, of destiny, of the divine. And just the way that we're a part of a network, part of a web. It's a huge amount of acceptance and surrender in this wheel. And then what happened? The Fool, the beginner, the leaper of faith, This is the gem that you have discovered in all this painful. You have discovered that you can go forward with your heart, you can trust the divine, and you can start new. Beautiful. All right. How about the Muse of Voices? So that's done. You've come through that beautifully. As you set on your new journey, you have beautiful skills here. Let's see, what else? What are we embracing here, Scorpio? Four of Pentacles. A little bit of, there's levitating here with the four. So it can be a bit of a small world view. When I look at this card, though, I don't get that. I get that dance. I get that balance. I get this like satisfaction with just the four. You don't need more. Look at the, money's not everything. Look at where you are. You're in this vast and beautiful world. It's almost like, it's weird. It's kind of like there's two horizons. Do you see? That's an interesting Four of Pentacles. Okay. Then a Four of Swords, healing your mind. Swords being your mind. Going alone. Reflecting. What else? Eight of Swords, feeling trapped. But in fact, you're not. Just, you're not looking at reality. So this is your embrace. It seems very much about, this Eight of Swords isn't you. It could be you feeling trapped in your mind, but you're coming in as this graceful dancer, the Muse of Voices. So like, who are you to bring the truth to with grace and love? Somebody else here, maybe, because we see, why do I think it's somebody else? It's just so different from where you're coming from. Could be you. So self-love, self-care, this can be a part of what we see, but I see you bringing your honesty and your heart to a person who's got some control issues, who's healing, and who gets trapped in their mind. Is that you? That can totally be us, right? But maybe when you're feeling those ways, what you can know is that you have learned how to weather this and how to find your way out. Like, see this? There's somebody is actually offering her the truth here. And that sword of truth, that's the Muse of Voices, the King of Swords. So she's being offered the truth. Remember, this is the truth that you can stand on and get justice with. You're not trapped. But you might be, as a Muse of Voices, the one offering the truth to this person who feels trapped. Yeah, I see options for how to interpret this. Like in the first two cards, just give me a sense of you not being materialistic, sort of levitating beyond the pentacles, and just finding grace in acceptance of a little, and that being plenty, and healing. The Four of Swords it's like it's this little mobile made of truth. When the wind catches it, and the wind, air, swords, these are all symbolic of the mind. So when your mind runs across your thoughts, as the wind will, it makes a beautiful sound, a sound that helps you meditate and contemplate that tinkling sound of truth. And you're right in your mind when you're in a Four of Swords. So there's a very graceful, balanced, modest, very humble energy coming in here that has access to the truth that you can offer to this person who feels trapped and blind and very fearful. And under the moon, we see her, she's under the moon too. So if you're going on a moon journey in this time, like, because we saw the moon up here. So we know the moon is in play here. I am reading that we know you're looking at this, right? You're looking at this, and then you get here. This is where you end up in justice, like being fair with yourself. So whether it's you or somebody else, the truth is being offered, you have access to it. Okay. You're revisiting some way that you have come to terms with and healed your mind, found peace with divine support. So you're just looking at that, the history of you, perhaps this year, or perhaps, because Mars going through Gemini speaks of air, of voices, but also we have Mercury, a planet of air, going through Capricorn and reversing. Okay, so 7 of Wands, this is your history that you review. Resistance, like walking through the fire with integrity. It's great. 8 of Wands, communicating, acting from that same fire in you. You've walked across fire, and now you act from it. It's inspiration is what you're acting from as a result of what you have walked through. And then death, your card, Scorpio. Transformation, death. Wow. Yeah, this was a very transformative year for you. And don't doubt that. Don't doubt. Don't doubt where you've come from and your wisdom. Somebody might challenge that. I don't see that in the cards at all. But if somebody challenges that, like, because we see this choice, that we see somebody choosing. Is it you? It could be, but it's hidden from you. So for some reason, it comes into me quite strong that somebody else is making a choice. And it might just cause you to question what you know, but you don't need to, because what I see is a really powerful, beautiful process of transformation here. Okay, let's see. What is this Lovers that's hidden from you? The Star. Card of Aquarius. Healing, wish fulfillment, divine support. There she is, naked in her emotions. Beautiful energy. 3 of Wands. You're waiting. You're under the moon. This is cool because you're actually traveling a lot across the water, across your emotions, towards something. You don't know what, but it is something that you envisioned and manifested. And then we get, this is powerful strength. Okay. This is some big stuff that's hidden from you. Maybe it's just, this is big. It looks good. Like this, if it's somebody else making a decision, it's like they're their best self. They manifested you, this decision, whatever it is. If they're deciding about you and whether to have you in their life, they're drawing on divine support and their heart, their best self. They don't really know what they're doing or where they're going, but they trust the divine. So that's nice to know. It's hidden from you. I just got a phone call. My little watch is going crazy with voicemail. Okay. Then we have 7 of Pentacles. This is your future. Looks like you're just going about your good work. What that good work is, let's see. Maybe we'll find out. What are you doing here? Looks a little boring next year. Yeah, it looks like you're doing your job. 8 of Pentacles. Work, work, work. It's a new skill. You're totally engaged with it. The Empress. It involves the earth. It's the new earth, relationship with earth. There's pregnancy here. There's abundance. The moon. Wow, it's beautiful. And the Hanged One. You're seeing something from a new perspective going forward. Your work is changing. Like if I think about my work, I can see that here. It's like a learning experience. You're working in a disciplined way. It's quite inspiring. It's quite fulfilling and nurturing. It's like good for your soul, and it's changing your mind. The Hanged One, because death already appeared under what happened last year. The Hanged One is another way for the same deck to speak of an experience that is divinely supported, that is causing you to see something from a totally new perspective, that allows you to change your mind even further going forward. And there is on the bottom here, a few things. We've got temperance, a lot of waiting, a lot of alchemizing, measuring back and forth. King of Wands. There's that, if you have a Leo in your life or some fire sign, could be you being the leader of your life. He's got a cat on his shoulder. Big wand too. And the Chariot, there's some momentum, forward progress here. There's a lot. And the Temperance and the Chariot, they're very opposite energies. One waiting, one acting. And that's the same thing I saw with the overarching cards, is like this calm, surrendering energy, Temperance, and then this bat, justice, standing on the edge of the sword, like the dramatic. And because we have the Moon and the Muse of Emotions from this other deck, like both of those speak of like the way that Scorpios are secretive and private about what's going on inside of them. So you may be appearing like Temperance, like you're just going along doing things in a steady, boring way, but there's a huge thing happening inside of you. It's very inspired. It's very powerful with the Empress and the Hanged One and death, like the Star, strength, this huge justice. I mean, there's so much major arcana here. The Fool, big, grown-up, emotional, intellectual, spiritual year. It looks like for us Scorpios. We're just like coming into 2023. Oh, I feel excited for you, Scorpio. I feel excited as a Scorpio. Trust what you know. Trust what you know. I don't see any doubt here that you're gonna know that. And if this Lovers is you, you're like in a good place for this decision, whatever it is you can't yet see. If it's somebody else deciding about you, they're also full of faith and coming from their best self. And it almost feels like a different story right there all together. You're on like a path that is very, it's a deep and transformative and inspired path that is, it's like already blew your mind last year, and now it's like really dedicating yourself to whatever that is. It looks like work. It looks like your life purpose is related to justice in some way, to the earth, the Empress. You tell me, Scorpio. All right. I hope this has been a helpful reading for you. Please do let me know. Okay. Happy New Year.